Sometimes that's better to do it
It
that
didn't
way.
seem like it was affecting me at all when I was writing. You know, it like I didn't get emotional or anything writing the letter. I just wrote it, and then when I read it, then that's it kind of all just came out. You know, Denise was
More
crying.
powerful than what you thought it was gonna be.
Denise
Yeah.
was crying. Everybody was crying.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, wow. And I said, well, you know, it was just kind of, it was just like that. I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So afterwards, now how do you feel about it, or did you have to process through what you get your feelings or
Yeah,
thoughts
you
about
know,
it?
I
Or
felt alright, and you know, I think I've said this to you before. I really didn't think that my mom dying had too much of an effect on the way that I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really think that it had a big effect on the way that I turned out. And I even said that in the letter. I said, you know, and I still wonder today if like you being gone had any effect on the way that on the reason I did things or the way I did things. I'll say that I don't think it did. You know, but then I started realizing like maybe it did. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's just because and you know, and sometimes I think that having too much self-awareness is not a good thing because like I guess I've overshadowed a lot of things by thinking that my brain had it all licked,
Uh-huh.
you know, and then sometimes your subconscious is like, boom, here you go,
Right.
dude, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I want to
Gotcha.
put something to you right now, and then so I was like, I don't know, I'm very analytical, as you know, so
Mm-hmm.
I think things through a lot, and I've always thought about that, like, okay, did it, and so I break it down, and I'm like, nah, it didn't. I think that was just my way of like not placing blame on my mom for dying or whatever. I wasn't like, you know, I don't want to be like, ah, this is your fault, I turned out this way because you died, and because it's not really like that,
Right.
and so in my mind, a lack of that I didn't see it as that. I didn't see it as my mom being gone as the effect, as the cause of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. So now, what do you think, or how do you think it affected you?
I just think it hurt. And you know, and that's another thing. I really didn't think like, it's been 24 years,
Right.
so you don't think that it's still having an effect on me. But I wrote in my letter, I said, you know, I'm ashamed to admit that some days I don't even know what you look like. I can't even remember because I was a kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that, and I'm like, well, you know, and so therefore I didn't really think that it had that much effect on me because I would,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if it did, then it would still hurt, right? It would be hurting me. Well, it doesn't hurt anymore. I mean, yeah, I still think about my mom, but in a positive way. It doesn't hurt that she's
Mm-hmm.
gone. It doesn't, it's not like, oh man, you know. So I didn't really think that it was like that big of a
And the
problem.
resentment's not there.
Nah, and you know, and then it says, you know, if you have any secrets, if you have any resentments, you know, and I'm like, I have resentments towards myself because, you know, a lot of the things that I told my mom when I was a kid was like, I wish you'd just die. I wish you, oh, I hate you. I wish you were gone. Oh no, you know, just
Mm-hmm.
go away or whatever. And then when that happens, you're like, oh shit, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I think it made a lot of guys up there see like, hey, you know, some of this shit you're holding against your mom, you better stop because you know they're gonna be gone and they're gonna be like, oh man, I just want, you know, and you're just being resentful and being stubborn, and the next thing you know, you're like, I always thought I'd have tomorrow to say, hey, my bad, you know, it's all good.
Okay.
Now you don't, so now what?
Right. So what kind of feelings do you think you have around the death of your mom, or the choices that you made growing up, or?
I still can't pinpoint any specific thing that I did as a result of that.
Okay.
So that's where I struggle with saying that that was something that had an impact on me, because I can't put anything specifically to that incident. I can't.
But you would think that, you know, a parent passing away at when you were 12
Right.
would have some type of impact on you somewhere.
Right.
In your decision making, you know, I don't know what was your relationship with your mom prior.
Yeah, she
to
was
that.
like,
I mean,
she was basically a single parent. My dad was in jail and in the halfway house, and
so you
then
relied on her for
he
a
was
lot.
gone working all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she was like a single mom for all intents and purposes. My dad paid bills, but that's all pretty much all he did because he was gone and working all the time, or even when he was working out of state in the summertime, because he did asphalt work and they traveled. They went out of state and did a lot of work too.
Right.
For the state of Arizona.
Okay.
And so like he was gone for a couple summers, you know, and then he was in jail. He got busted for a drug case. Was doing time or whatever. Was in the half house for a couple of years. So he was gone, of course. But then you know, and I guess that is where I struggle with. Sorry.
You're fine.
That's where I struggle is because I can't pinpoint it as any cause and effect. You know, this happened as a result of this happened as a result of that.
because your mom wasn't there,
Yeah.
type thing. Because your grandma kind of stepped up to the plate
Yeah.
and took over that role as much
Yeah.
as she could at that point, right?
Yeah, and my grandma's always been the closest person to me in life, always since like I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma's just been my best friend. So I guess that in essence having that relationship too kind of just transitioned things pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Still sad.
Yeah.
Still
It
sad,
is.
and still has the feelings to deal with, and
You know, and the thing that hurts me the most is the fact that I don't feel that. I don't know, I feel like I should still be. I feel like I should still be hurt over that.
mm-hmm.
But I like to think just because I rationalize things in my head, I just don't think that you're supposed to hurt over somebody forever.
No.
You know?
You just remember, probably Mother's Day, her birthday, special occasions,
Yeah.
might just
My grandma always reminds me too, because my grandma's one of those reminiscent old ladies, she calls and she wants to tell me stories of when I was one, and she remembers everything I've ever. My grandma's like a steel trap. She remembers every single thing I ever did. The day I started walking, I don't know, but she knows.
Of course.
I remember you started walking on this day. And my grandma can remember every single serious and monumental event in my life, every one.
Do you have pictures of your mom? You keep?
Oh, tons. Yeah, I got tons. My grandma just holds on to them though, because like I haven't really lived the most responsible life, and if I would have had them, we wouldn't have them. And I've always known when I wasn't living right, I told my grandma, just hold on to these, and when I get right, then we're gonna. Jill has pictures of my mom. I don't, because my grandma would write her in prison and send her pictures and tell her stories, and then they would talk on the phone or whatever. So like she has baby pictures of me, embarrassing ones of me drooling and stuff. I'm like, why did you send that, Grandma? And I had.
Babies do, Randy, is what babies do, so you're okay on that.
It happens, but you're supposed to wipe me up before my pictures, Grandma, Mom, what's wrong with you? Here, we're gonna embarrass him with this one these days. We're gonna show some, and my grandma's always been pretty cool about that, but she had them hanging on her wall at her house. So as long as you don't take them to Grandma's, you never see it.
There you go.
But not with Jill, she sent her the pictures, look at this, and Jill's like, oh, you look so cute, drooling, and I'm like, how do you know about that? Oh, I just got a letter from your grandma.
And I have the picture.
Grandma, if you weren't 74 and 5'2", I swear.
So grandma's still.
Oh yeah, my grandma, she still will stop me in the. Grandma, please, I'm 36 years old. You can't be licking my face.
Are you 37 now?
No, I just turned 36.
Oh, you just turned 36.
Yeah, it's 79. And I'm like, can you just not lick stuff off my face? She's like, well, if you clean your face before we took you out in public. Yeah, I guess you got a good point there. I should be able to wash my face.
There you go. So that was a pretty powerful group then, activity.
Yeah, it was good.
That's good. All right, well, we're rounding out down here, Randy. So we'll meet today and tomorrow, and then next week is it, right?
Yep.
You're
spreading my wings.
You are. Are you going to stay on the floor then, or are they making you move downstairs?
No, I'm staying up there.
Okay.
Moving in with Brad and Cody and who's the other dude who lives in there? Chad Watson.
Okay.
Chad Watson, Brad, Neal, and Cody.
Okay. Good.
He was always dislocating his shoulders.
There you go. All right, let's see what you got here. And you got your autobiography. Can I keep it to read?
Yeah.
You want to read? Is there any special spot of your autobiography you want to share with me and what you want to talk about?
I think it was pretty bland. You can read it.
It's boring? Come on now.
See, hey, I even started it out like this. Look, I was letting you know. This is my autobiography. Diane, wake up, Diane. I'm just getting started.
Alright, so we'll go over the autobiography. And I have a few closing things that you have to, have to redo your Socrates, a personal recovery plan, and then do the infectious disease thing again too. So we have to finish.
I don't think I caught anything in here.
That's good. That's a good thing. Oh, and the SRQ. So we'll do I'll give those to you at the end. I'll probably give you, I don't know if you would get them done today, but maybe you could get them done by next Monday and just give them to me on Monday. Because I'll be here Monday, but like I said, I do that other group, so.
Okay.
But I'll get them back from you. I mean, it's not like you're leaving, so we can get those from you. Alright, so goal 5 is where we're at today, right? And then we have goal 6.
Then they're going to give you somebody else, Diane.
They are. Ooh, tough. Be tough. And I have all our other paperwork to sign here too. So goal 5, gain an understanding of how thinking errors and self-talk are connected to substance abuse and will learn skills to begin to work through thinking errors and self-image. So the first one is identify and verbalize thinking errors that have contributed to substance using criminal conduct behaviors, including the self-image thoughts and beliefs.
Fiscal 6? Yeah.
No.
5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it should be just the first question there.
Oh,
What you got there?
The stuff we went over.
Well, we only kind of went over for just a few minutes, and then you left for rec. So.
Okay. It was.
And you have rec today at 10 also.
Yes.
Okay. So.
It was.
I'll watch the clock.
It was being in the fizz.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, the zone.
And what were some of the self-image ones then?
My life sucks.
Okay.
I'm in control, and they all have to answer to me, which was like my mantra to my lifestyle. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like make people see things my way because of their addiction, because of their addictive personalities and their needs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I realize now just how messed up that is, because like, and you know, it was just an illusion that I was in control anyway. I wasn't, you know, I was just a slave to my addiction too, but just.
Mm-hmm. We're all under the illusion that we're in control.
Yeah.
And are we really? No, not really. Alright, so which one of these, if you had to pick the one that you really wanted to talk about, which one would you pick?
You know, my life sucks.
My life sucks. Okay.
And it doesn't. My life doesn't suck. You know, okay. It never did really suck. It was just all self-inflicted crap that I created this life that sucked.
Mm-hmm.
And
so how are you going to change it now? Or how's it going to be different?
I'm going to just go in the opposite direction. I'm not going to use. I'm not going to create situations that suck, like putting myself on the streets selling dope instead of when I've always had a place to stay. I've always had a family. I've always had a support system. I just didn't utilize them because of embarrassment from my addiction.
So what's different this time, you think? Or how is it going to be different this time?
Well, you know, I have, with my support system, I have hit them to the warning signs, whereas before I kind of shielded that so that they
didn't know.
Yeah, so that they weren't seeing it beforehand. They were just seeing when I just stopped coming home. You know.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma's always been pretty cool about what's going on. Are you tweaking?
Okay.
I'm like, uh-oh, here comes that phone call.
Yeah.
Wouldn't answer, but then my grandma got a cell phone, so now she knows how to text.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, and Facebook. She's a Facebook junkie, so she'll be like, oh, and she doesn't use instant messages. She puts it on my wall.
Oh, so
I'm like, oh, I got a call. Hey, Grandma,
yeah.
stop.
She doesn't know how to keep it secret, so everybody else can't see it.
Yeah,
so everybody
exactly.
sees it.
So
Okay.
whatever she's thinking is getting broadcast to everybody on my friend list, you know.
So utilizing your support system more, being, I guess, more open to them. Would you say that? So you're not hiding behind.
Using them beforehand instead of like, okay, I'm all jacked up and now I need your help.
Okay, good.
You
what
know,
else is
not hitting rock bottom before I start asking them for help.
Okay, good. So asking them for help, not hitting rock bottom before you ask for help.
I think that's one issue that people have with a support system is then you know that they're there as your blanket. You know, like they're going to catch me when I fall. So you wait until you fall and let them catch you instead of like
as you're going down.
Letting them catch you in midair so that you don't hit the ground. You know?
Kind of like that trust exercise, huh?
Yeah, it's that mental part of like, and I think that's part of your addictive personality too. Is you're like, well, that's cool because if I screw it up too bad, I got these people to pick me up. You know, you think about it that way instead of thinking about like, okay, I don't have to fall. You know.
What else are you gonna do?
I am going to. I was thinking about getting a sponsor.
Have you had a sponsor before?
No.
No? Okay.
I was thinking and so therefore that's why I'm thinking about it, because I've thought about all the things that I have done, and through trial and error, I've errored all of those things. So I was thinking like, okay, so let's try some things I haven't, which is obviously I'm going to get involved in some sort of a church thing, you know what I mean? And I was thinking about even maybe trying to find a support system there, because there are other people. There's people that are involved in churches that have had the same issues as me.
Right. Well, Celebrate Recovery. Did you ever go to Celebrate Recovery next door at the jail?
No, actually I didn't.
Okay. So that's kind of the biblical 12-step program, basically.
Yeah.
So and I know there's a couple. Well, I know Timberline does it, and I know there's a church in Loveland that does it. I don't know if it's Crossroads maybe. that does it too, but that might be something to hook up with.
I'm already going to start going to church with my niece and nephew.
Awesome.
My niece is kicking and screaming, but my sister's like, your Uncle Randy's going to make you go, so you might as well start going now. You already know he's not going to take no for an answer, because I'm like, nope, I just annoy him into doing what I want.
So you figured out the pass thing so that you're able to go and not be late? Or?
Yeah, you just gotta, they said as long as it's in county, I think, and even they let a couple guys even go to Greeley to go to church, which, well, ours is in Loveland. And so and I just gotta earn my church passes. I already have one, I think, ready to go because of Crystal, so I can have one that I can already utilize. I asked her to hold it for me until I got to GP. She said, all right. So I think we're okay there.
Okay, good. Okay, so we got support team, trusting them more and using them more, getting a sponsor, going to church groups. What is there anything else?
Well, and obviously I'm going to be doing aftercare, so that's one thing. That's like doing your it's like doing relapse prevention or whatever. Okay. So that's another.
Is that like an hour or 2 hours a week?
I think it's just two. I think it's 2 hours. So it's 2 hours on Sunday. It says from 1 to 3 or whatever, just the same time as we have treatment movie.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
Okay. Great. Good choices. I just got to follow through with them, Randy.
Right. That's another thing, is I need to catch Misty and ask her if I can do my first aftercare this Sunday, because I get done on Monday morning. So I was going to ask her if it's okay if I, instead of just doing the treatment movie, which I was going to ask her if I could just go to aftercare instead.
Okay.
Because, and it's strictly because of the fact that I'm going to be here, and they usually require you to do 4 aftercares before you can, until you can level up. So if
aftercare this Sunday?
Yes. Okay. If they don't allow me to level up, even though I did it, hey, no harm, no foul, right? Nothing venture, nothing gain.
Well, I can ask her if she's not there when we leave.
Okay.
Because I meet with her later today too, so we can get that figured out. Okay. All right, great. What's next on the list?
Okay, identify healthier perspectives, thoughts you can utilize to cope with the stressors of life, and healthy support systems. And I said, keeping God first and foremost, wanting a healthier marriage and lifestyle. I see my family, i.e. my grandma, sister, niece, and wife, as a healthy support system, but I am considering a sponsor or involvement in a church or having a support system through them. I'm saying considering it since I'm not totally aware of how that will work because of the fact that I haven't tried it. So I say considering because I'm not going to lean totally on that until I know that it's going to be something that's going to be healthy or productive for me. I don't know, because I don't know. I
think the sponsors, my understanding is they're just there to help you when you need help.
Right.
So if you need them, you call them, type thing. Right. Maybe they'll meet you at meetings, see you at meetings,
and that's kind of the concept of the whole support. They're sort of involved in the support system aspect, but it's somebody outside of your normal comfort zone so that you can get a different viewpoint on what you're doing. You can reach out to somebody who's not my grandma or my dad, or somebody who could potentially enable you by wanting to coddle you. You know what I mean? That's why I think a sponsor is is one of those things that they're there to bust your balls, whereas the rest of your support system is like, hey, they're going to give you a pass.
Right. And in addition, if you get that craving at 2 or 3 in the morning, you can call them also, and they can help you work you through the craving so that it passes, because those are going to happen, and it's going to happen. So just to figure out what to do when that does happen. So I don't know if you can call grandma at 3 in the morning. Maybe you can.
I can.
Okay.
I can, but it's sometimes she doesn't have a lot of understanding of the
addiction piece of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's not like she can't be like, okay, well, just she doesn't know how to approach me. If I'm like, grandma, I'm about to get high. Well, don't do that.
Do not do that. Yeah. Randy, stop it. That's grandma, huh? So that would be a person then you would call, and if you feel that craving and feel like you want to get high, then you can call them. It doesn't matter what time. So that's kind of what they're there for, type thing. So good. All right. Healthy marriage. How's that going to work for you?
I think through God and through our own willingness to change are going to be some major things. Forgiveness is key. I know now it's one of those things, and I am still working on it. As is Jill. She's a little bit quicker to forgive than I am. She's a little bit more. I don't know. She's a little bit more, I guess, willing. Has the willingness a little bit more. I don't know if I'd say the willingness. I don't really know exactly what I'm looking for there. What I'm looking to say there is, but she's been able to do it a little bit more than me. I think it's not that from my lack of wanting. It's just it's the ego, the man part of it that I'm struggling with. It's, you know.
Does that go back to control then?
I think so. It's because of the context of it, though. I think it's the pride, you know, that male part of me that's like, she did this to me, you know. So I don't understand why women are so much easier to forgive on those things. You know, like it's a lot more easy. It's a lot easier for a woman, not more easier. A lot easier for a woman to say, okay, I forgive you, and let's forgive and forget and move on and try to work through this.
Right. Probably some women. I wouldn't generalize that all women.
Oh yeah, I mean I've just seen a lot of men that have violated that trust with their wife or whatever, or a girlfriend. It seems like women are a lot more available to that.
Could be.
Idea, you know.
It could be. So your relationship with Jill's going all right then?
Great.
No issues, no problems. Okay.
She said she talked to you, huh? Was she being a brat?
No, she just was having a moment. She was having a moment.
I think Diane hates me because I think I was kind of a bitch to her. I'm like.
She just, she wasn't in a good place, and she wasn't going to listen to what I was saying to her, so she was just misinterpreting everything. So I'm like, I can't talk anymore. So.
She's like, I don't think Diane wants you to be with me. I said,
I did not say that.
No, sir. That's the female part, though. That's the female interpretation of. She doesn't. I don't think she wants you to be with me. I think she thinks I'm unhealthy for you. I said, well, you know, because you think that maybe it's the other way around.
I told her that's something you two need to talk about and work out, and not put me in the middle with that piece of it. So yes, I'm here at the jail, and I'll talk to you, Jill, but we're not gonna, you know, talk necessarily about Randy. Let's talk about you. And like when I'm with you, let's talk about you, and then you guys figure it out. And hopefully eventually down the road, maybe there can be some couples counseling going on when she's over here and in a healthy spot, and you're still working through your program here. You know, maybe then at that point we can work on bringing you guys together, and we can do some couples therapy and work through
therein. That's where my support system comes in, because you know what, like, you guys are my support system. Right. I'm not saying that I need that as any sort of manipulation part, but what I'm saying is you know, I'm hoping that through the work that I've done and through what I will continue to do, and with your guys' assistance, you know, that may be helpful.
For visits. Because that's a big piece of it. With you here, she over there, technically you're not supposed to talk to people over there, but as she's your spouse, then we need to work with that and figure out so that you guys both don't get in trouble and get kicked out.
Right, and that's really the thing, is I just want, you know, we all know that I could find a way to manipulate that and get around it and not have, you know, and sneak around and do all that, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather just have it be on board where we can get some help while we're doing it, instead of like regressing to do that. I'd rather get some.
That's kind of the old ways again, isn't it?
Yes, I'd rather get some positive moving forward while doing that. You know what I mean? Like it's counseling, you know, help,
right,
where we can have it. And I think that's as kind of important too, because you know, like anybody that I've asked, even my dad said this. He said, you know, sometimes it's important to get outside help, to get counseling, or get somebody who can tell you the way it is, and can look at your situation and say, I don't think this is healthy, or I think this is maybe what you should start working on these things too.
So you talked to your dad?
Yeah, I did. I talked to my dad on Father's Day for like an hour.
Awesome. How did that go?
It was good. You know, and my dad was a little bit, I told him, you know, and he knows about the things I went through with my wife. He knows about the things that I was admitted to doing with her, you know, put my hands on her, verbally abusing her, things like that. And he wasn't so quick to let Jill off the hook. He was like, he's like, yeah, but you know, she did some stuff too, you know.
So how'd you feel after talking to him?
Good. I felt good.
The relationship's going in the right direction now.
He didn't just let me. He doesn't. My dad is a good ear. He, you know, he'll tell me, he'll bust my balls when I'm wrong, but he'll tell me when I'm right too. You know, he doesn't just let me take the heat for everything, which I have a habit of doing. You know, because I feel like it's wrong to blame somebody else for all your transgressions in life and all your stupidity, you know? I could sit here and say, oh, it's because my dad's a crappy dad. I could say, oh, it's because this dude snitched on me. I went to jail. But really, like, you got to take a couple steps back. Well, this dude didn't snitch on me for things I didn't do. He's gonna tell me for stuff I did.
Right.
You know?
So it's not like he's lying. You
Yeah,
know, it's something
and I
true.
put myself there. Like it started with the actual act that I got told on for, whereas it didn't start when I got told on. It started far before that, when I started thinking of doing, even with the thought of doing the stuff that I got told on for. You know.
Well, I'm glad you and your dad are making it work now.
Yeah, we're
big progress. I mean, slow progress, but every little step forward is better. So
I've been kind of resentful, and so is he. You know, because in ways he needed me too. Like sometimes he needs my my insight and advice as just as much as I need his. You know, because like he needs to take a couple steps back into his youth sometimes and hear what I got to say. Whereas like, you know.
Awesome. Good. All right, let's keep moving on before we run out of time. Number 3. What's number 3?
It was identify healthier perspectives or thoughts of yourself that you can utilize as self-talk statements.
Okay. So what can you say to yourself?
Listen here, Stu.
Be nice. Be nice, Randy.
Yes, life has meaning outside of drugs. You know, I don't need, and I was just telling that new guy, Mikey, just came in, new glasses.
I haven't met him yet.
You know, he's like, he came from DOC or whatever, and he's like, dude, you're a legend, you know?
At DOC?
He's like, in DOC, you know, everybody that when I tell them where I'm from, they ask me, do I know you? And on the streets, I just hear your name everywhere, and I'm like, no, man, I don't even want to hear none of that, you know? I don't care about any of that. I said, because it's just like I told my brother, I said, yeah, I don't want to be known for that crap anymore. You know, and he's like, oh yeah, and he understood. You know, he's like reaching out to God. He's having some problems in his life or whatever, and he's kind of leaned to me for a little bit of guidance, reassurance, and kind of some help through, because he's like reaching out to God or whatever, and he's seeing how I'm trying to make that change. I'm in my Bible all the time. I'm reading, and a lot of self-reflection time. So he's kind of sits down next to me and is like, so what are you reading now? It's like this pesky little brother.
Like, what are you doing, huh?
Yeah, what are you reading there? Hey, can you help me? You know, and I'm like, well, I guess.
Yeah.
I really wasn't looking for a little brother.
That's that leadership thing again, huh? Keeps popping up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and ultimately, he was reaching out to me because of other things, because of things he's already heard about me, because my name was notorious for being like this leader in drug shit. I don't want nothing to do with that anymore. I told him I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't look up to that. I don't identify with that person anymore. I don't, you know, except for my ability to speak and to say things. I don't identify with anything of that anymore. I don't. It's not me.
That's the old Randy.
You know, I said, and it wasn't even me when I was doing it. It wasn't even. I was putting up some facade trying to fit in because I was just some stupid kid who got picked on and was like this nerdy dude who, you know, in prison or jail they refer to him as a knack. You know, like this nerdy ass dude who just has no place to fit in. And so I made my place to fit in. You know. I just manipulated the whole situation around me so that I could fit in. You know, it wasn't, you know, created this whole identity that I didn't even identify with. It was like a whole front.
Okay. So let's go with now then. What's your identity now, or what do you identify with now?
I just identify with me, you know,
and with him,
and with God. And where can I fit? Or where can I put the two together? You know, like I don't know. I don't really know. Okay. I'm trying to find some life skills. I'm trying to find some job skills. I'm trying to find my place. So I don't really know what that is yet.
But you have some ideas.
Yeah, I do. I have some.
I know that you do. Right.
I got, you know, I'm thinking. I'm gonna get back now somehow. In a way, I'm gonna talk. I'm just gonna use my ability to speak to people somehow as a way to make that work. You know,
God will provide you with
work
tools.
smarter, not harder.
There you go. There you go. Maybe that starts at church.
Yeah.
You know, that starts there.
And yeah, ultimately, some of those things are going to have to be approached after I leave the halfway house. But so with that in mind, I know that's where I got it. I got to continue staying focused and moving forward. And until then, I'm gonna go bust my butt at all pro asphalt for a little while first because I got that job.
Did you get that job?
I got hired.
Congratulations.
So I'm just waiting.
Awesome.
I'm waiting for that day. And they're about to start some night highway job working on LeMay, I guess, working at nights.
Okay.
And you get paid more.
Awesome.
It's like a pay incentive for working at night. So we're gonna go to work at like 8 o'clock at night or something.
Right.
Work till 6 or 8 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And you get paid extra, and it's probably gonna last for a while.
At least it
It's
won't
like
be as
15
hot.
or 20 miles of road.
So most of LeMay then, probably, huh?
Yeah, almost all LeMay.
Wow.
So I'm like,
Okay, avoid LeMay.
yep, you're gonna be having trouble there.
So when do you start?
Don't run over me, Diane.
I won't, Randy. When do you start then? Do you have to wait till you after the 29th?
Yeah, after the 29th.
Then you can start next week then?
Yeah. And today I'm going I almost forgot. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go with Dave, so I can't even go to rec.
Okay.
So because up here at 10:30, I got to go with Dave to get my ID and stuff.
Okay.
So I'm doing
That's
that.
good.
Yeah.
Good. Got a job, getting your ID.
Getting things moving. I haven't had an ID in years because I didn't want, I didn't need one stupidly though, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to have my ID on me if they pull me over. Well, we all know who you are anyway, dummy. You don't need your ID.
You don't need your ID, yeah, because you were a legend.
Yeah, and
now you're changing
and
that
I really,
legend.
and that really got me to thinking. Like when he said that, I'm like, that's not, like.
How did he take it? Can you explain that to him?
I think he wanted me to embellish, like, yeah, I did this, I did that, at first. But then I think when I said, you know what, dude, that's just all a bunch of bullshit, man. Most of the stuff you hear about me is all just a legend anyway. You know what I mean? Really, I was just some junkie in my room shooting up, trying to get my next fix, but just doing it with a big ass bag instead of, I was doing the same crap that everybody else was doing, just behind closed doors and leading it in another direction when I was out there in the community, you know?
Right.
I just wasn't out there getting high with everybody. I was getting high here before I left, with my wife, and she really got to see like this dude who was just a scumbag hitting his old lady and verbally abusing her, and then when we go out in the community, I'm like, right, hon, you know, just there's a whole self-image thing, you know. But
were you okay telling him all that, or
yeah,
any issues?
I just let it all out. I said, you know what, dude, don't look to me for that. You know, it looked to me for who I'm trying to be now, and he was like, for some reason I look up to you, you know, and I'm like, I hope it's not for being a legend, because, you know, look to me for what I'm saying now, as opposed to what I would have said to you 6 months ago.
So you think that's what he's looking at you now?
Yeah,
okay.
Because he's reaching to God, he's leaning towards, you know, God is faith, and I got him going to Bible study with me last night, and things like that. I led him to some passages in the Bible, you know, and I told him about how, like, you know, he was there for that class where I read the letter to my mom. I started bawling, you know, and I think he was kind of like, didn't expect that out of me because he hasn't been in groups with me yet. So he was like, for some reason I just feel comfortable talking to you, and like I look up to you or whatever, and I'm like,
so he's definitely your little brother.
Yeah. That's cool. And so I'm like, all right, you know, so it's just another thing that I got somebody that I can lead by example, and hopefully he doesn't go back to prison. You know, and his mom is sick, she's in a coma, and I asked him, I said, well, and you know, he's like, she might not make it. I said, well, what are you going to do if she doesn't? I said, God willing that she does, hopefully, let's say, but let's just say, if it's God's will for her not to survive, what are you going to do?
Right.
He's like, I don't know, I'm going to try not to get high. I said, no. That's why I'm asking you now, because she hasn't passed yet. I'm asking you now. What are you going to do? You know, I said, I'm here for you. I'm not going to, you know, if you come to me looking to get high, I'm going to turn you in another direction, you know, but so you can use me as your support system. I'm not, you know,
this is what a sponsor does, Randy.
Yep.
You're technically kind of a sponsor to him right now.
Yeah, well, he reached out to me, so I'm like, I felt like it would be wrong to turn him away. I felt like it would be wrong to say this, you know, I'm not that person for you or whatever, because there goes that wanting and that needing and that willingness to help, you know, like I'm always trying to fix. And so like he's asking me to help me, and I'm like, okay, well, it would be wrong for me to be like, no, dude, sorry, I don't have time for that right now. I just make time, you know.
Right.
Okay, let's just go and talk for a while. You know, I don't. There's nothing else that I'm doing that's more pressing. I don't need to watch TV or anything like that.
And that is what a sponsor does. There you go. See, you already know what a sponsor does. All right, so we got about 15 minutes here. Anything else on that? Are you good? Anything else in there that's jumping out at you?
Okay, so I said, I'm more. Life has meaning outside of drugs. I'm more value than what. And I'm of more value than what people value me as their drug source or in that life. God has my back now, and my life, our marriage cannot prosper without Him. I did identify with that life. I don't identify with that life anymore, except in realizing how I don't want to be.
Good.
You know, so I have to, I got to tell myself, because I almost got sucked into that. When he's like, man, you're a legend, and this, and people talk about you all over the penitentiary, and this and that. Everybody from up here, they're always at the first name I hear, do you know Randy Curtis? And he says, well, and I almost, there's like a pride thing there for a second. The devil was going, look.
That's that automatic thought again, right?
Yep.
Kind of like what you had with your brother, but yet you didn't act on it, so that's great. You had those thoughts, and then you moved past them and figured out, oh no, that's not my healthy lifestyle anymore. So that's good. Using your skills, Randy.
So, and somebody tracked me down here. One of the people from my old life that either has been somebody here or been here or known somebody here, got these numbers, and they're calling me going, hey man, can you still, and I'm like.
So they called you here?
Yeah.
Okay.
On a payphone, hey, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, no, and it's like, I hate that I have that hesitation still, like that little, just even the flickering second where I think,
but it's only a flickering second now.
No. Yeah.
Before it was probably a lot longer, right?
Or
you didn't even do it. You just did it, right?
Or I might have actually indulged in that and said, hey, call this guy or whatever, let one thing to another. Now I'm just like, no, man, I don't even know anybody like that anymore. You know what I mean? I don't use Facebook anymore. I don't do it. None of that crap. No. Unfortunately, I don't know the password to my Facebook, so I can't even turn it off. So if I went to the library and I'm like, I don't know my password anymore, but it's still running, but I just can't get into it, so I don't use it, and I don't want to. It's like all those things, and I don't want to be connected to those people.
Would Facebook be a trigger for you?
I don't really think so, but I just think that that's one way people have always known to get a hold of me. Hey, hit me up. Here's my number. And so I think that's one way of God blocking me out of that Facebook, so I can't even have that.
Indulge in that piece of
see those numbers there and say, hey, hit me up or whatever. That way I don't even have that temptation.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah. So new friends then, huh?
Yeah.
Will be another thing we have to look for.
Right now it's no friends.
But, I mean, the guys in your group are kind of your friends, and now you're grooming with Cody and Brad, and who was the other one?
And Chad Watson.
Chad. So technically,
so we got
roommates and friends.
So we got the it's cool, and then I wanted to move into that room because all those guys are real quiet. They all get in, except for Cody. I don't really know what his trip is, but I know Brad and Chad get into their word and stuff, and so I thought that would be a good place for me. Be a good spot for me.
Good.
And I think Derek's probably going to move in there too, because me and him get out on the same day.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's probably going to move in there too, which he kind of fits right into that norm in that room. Which is cool.
Bunch of guys reading the Bible. There you go.
Just reading the Word, and it's just the atmosphere itself, and the.
Are they working for the asphalt company too, or?
Yeah, actually Brad works there. So does Chris Hype.
Okay.
There's a couple other people up here. Kyle. Okay. They work there already. They're the ones that got me the job.
Gotcha. So they will come pick you up here, or do you have to meet them there?
They pick us up right outside.
Okay, great.
That was another contributing factor.
Right,
the fact I wanted that job, I'm like, cool, we don't have to get a ride to work. Oh.
Good. Especially if it's going to be overnight shift, huh?
Yep. Because my grandma's a soldier, she would come up and take me to work, but I didn't want to have to try to put that on her. As part of being the extra support system, if I had to, I had no other alternative. I'd say, Grandma's going to come get me. I didn't want to, so I said, well, I got this job where these people will pick me up. It's like, all these things were, of course it's back busting, but at the same time, I'm willing to put that in for the ultimate outcome, which is going to be, transition to something that I want to do. Because you know what, it's going to keep my head afloat here. I can start right away. I'm not going to have any I'm not going to have any back rent or anything like that piling up on me, because it takes me a month to find a job or something, so I'll be $500 in the hole.
So you have to start paying rent as soon as you're out of the ERT program, then you start paying rent? As
soon as you're out of ERT, you start paying rent. I don't know how that works if you are still on the aftercare, or if you get paid rent. I don't know.
I don't know either.
So it's paid for your
what's rent run?
$15 a day, or $17 a day, $5.10 a month or something like that.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
And that starts piling up pretty dang quick if you if you screw off for a month to go find a job.
Right. But just, still take things a little bit slow. I mean,
Yeah.
I see you got a job, you're getting everything moving forward and stuff, but maybe slow down a little bit sometime.
Jill brought in the question, like, are you sure that this job is for you? Are you sure that this job, so I think you need to pray on that first and see, see what God thinks about you taking this job. Because I'm like, well, what makes you think that it wouldn't be? And she goes, I don't know, I was reading somewhere that, even before you accept anything, before you accept a job, a position, a place, before you make any big major changes in your life, you should ask God if it's the right thing to do.
Did you?
And yeah, and he hasn't got back to me yet.
Well, you're gonna start next week, so I'm guessing that might be the answer.
Yeah.
That could be the answer.
Yeah, he hasn't been like,
You're right, because he could have been, putting other barriers in your way maybe, but he hasn't, so maybe that's your answer.
And I think for me, understanding that is one of the keys to my sobriety is maintaining employment, because then I'm not tempted to go and seek money, As long as I'm keeping my head above water and I'm not digging myself a hole here, I think that I'm going to be all right. And that month or two, whatever it's going to be, working on that night crew, I'm going to be able to just stack up some extra cash, because I'm getting extra hours, 50, 60 hours a week, and at decent pay, I'll be able to funnel away a little bit, and I can maybe, but I also know that it's a seasonal job, so I need to be aware that I'm going to have to
look for something in the wintertime. Yeah. But we have a little time for that too.
Yep, and I don't know how winter's gonna be here.
It's hard to say.
Hard
to say. We could have snow in, April, March, or May, or March, April, and May. You just never know here.
Or nothing. You never
know. Or nothing. So there's that. So I mean, think about one of the papers I have to give you is a relapse prevention plan. So this will help you once you go through this, and I'll have you turn this in next Monday. Okay, so I'll give you the rest of the week to finish it. But this might help figure out then, what to do when you feel those stresses, or feel those cravings, or feel those urges. What you're going to do. You've already told me some things, calling your support, maybe getting a sponsor, following through with that, going to church. Family obviously is a big part of that too. But this might help figure out even more. If it's written down, it might make more committed to actually following through with some of that stuff.
Right.
You probably have the other stuff written down too, because I think isn't that part of that. Well, the next one's all about relationships. So we're gonna, since we've got just about 10 minutes left, we're gonna save goal 6 for tomorrow. So we'll go over the role plays. We're gonna role play tomorrow.
All right.
Okay. And talk about the other relationship issues. We'll go over that tomorrow. But let's go through this too, so you have to do that. And then they also have the Socrates and the SRQ again to do, just to see if it's changed from when you started. So if you could turn that one. Yeah, there's got to be another page to that one. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's more homework. We'll keep that piece of it. And we'll do the infectious disease screening next week too, or tomorrow. Because I think that one we have to do together.
Okay.
So we'll do that one together. All right, Randy. So we talked about a lot of stuff today. Can I keep these?
Yeah.
So I don't lose them. What's the big takeaway point from today?
It's planning. It's am I ready? And I mean, I right now, as I see it, the answer is yes. And it's because I've actually put a lot of thought into whether or not I was ready. As opposed to being ready from day one. It's just saying, oh, well, I'm ready to get the hell out.
Right.
I've actually put some self-reflection into being ready.
Okay.
And so that is kind of to me, that was
a big takeaway. Okay. Just keep planning, because plans change sometimes too. So it's good to have a backup plan also. So this is just the same treatment plan. So we did this way back in May.
Okay.
So it's just what we do every week, just sign off on it, and then we'll all we do is print off. I have to print one off for this week or today, and then one for tomorrow also. And just put today's date on that one.
On this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.